And hello everyone, I'm Breor, welcome back to Goodgame Empire. In today's video I'm going to take a look at defeating the Kraken. You see him a little bit behind this window. He is the big baddie in the Blade Coast event. You get to him at the end, and if you attack him and win, you will pick up this Seas of Death decorative item, so it is a good idea to do that if you can. So I promised that I would give you guys a video of defeating the Kraken a couple of months ago, and I guess I should have emphasized that it was going to be eventually. Though I did defeat this guy the last time the event came around, it was on the last day, and it was very late, and there was no way I was going to be able to record it, so that is why the video never appeared. But actually here it is now, so let's jump right into it and show you guys some strategies for defeating him. So when I first saw the defensive setup on this Kraken, I was reminded of the dragon in Fire Peaks. However, when I looked closer, I realized it was definitely a bit different because we have these tentacles on the flanks here, and they are relatively weak against ranged soldiers, whereas the dragon claws in Fire Peaks are very strong against both types of attackers. So when I saw this, it was pretty clear to me that I was going to take both flanks if possible and attack with ranged. So in addition, this is nice because I don't have to use any mantlets because these guys are presumably classified as melee defenders, at least I hope they are. So let's go ahead and drop in some ladders. I won't need to use ruby tools on this because I can use wooden ladders and bring it down to 0 and still have room, so that's fine. In fact, that's great because I have plenty of ruby tools that I've been using on other targets in this event, and I didn't really want to waste them. So let's go ahead and add in some strong ranged attackers here. If you'll notice, the majority of my attackers in the Blade Coast are ranged, and that is because I've been using that ruby mantlet and ruby tool and ranged attack setup to take on those other targets that I just mentioned. Let's finally take a look at the center. Now, it would presumably be enough of an effort to just take on the flanks and then bring the battle to the courtyard, but unfortunately there are extra troops in that courtyard, and I would like to get the plus 30% bonus against them that you can acquire by taking all 3 sections out on the wall. Now, with this event, you don't get to use your commanders, which you have put gear on, so your only courtyard bonus could come from taking out the 3 sections. So let's go ahead and do that now. I am going to use ruby tools for this because, as I can see up here, that is a pretty strong ranged soldier's defense. If you don't have ruby tools, if you're not as willing to spend them, then taking out the flanks should be okay. Yeah, and that would probably be your best bet. You could presumably get away with using resource tools on this section as well, but you would take casualties, so just be careful with that. Alright guys, it looks like we can use mostly wooden tools, hopefully, to take out, no, not quite, to take out the other bonuses. Remember, we're trying to bring them down to 0. Let's see if we can get away with it by doing this. Yeah, that should work. It's a little bit overkill here on the gate. We have negative 165 for a 155 bonus. That just went away. It really bugs me when it goes away like that, but oh well. And then wall is taken care of, and of course we used some ruby mantlets to take care of the ranged defenders. So these presumably are ranged. They spray ink at you, or whatever that's supposed to be, so they will be negated. That means we will only be facing more tentacles here in the center, so that means we will be dropping in ranged attackers, and then we'll be good. Finally, I will fill up the subsequent waves with attackers of various types, melee and ranged, because we will be encountering both melee and ranged defenders here in the courtyard. Now, that looks pretty good to me. There are different ways to do this, certainly, and perhaps this one is not the best, but I think it is a safe bet, and yeah, I'll be interested to take a look at the results. So I could make my troops move instantly, but I'm not that rich, so I will actually have to cut the video and then come back when my troops are about ready to reach the location. And alright everyone, it looks like it's about time for our attack to land, and as always before they do, I like to make a prediction, or predictions, in terms of how many casualties I will take. For this attack, I will say anywhere between 30 or 40. I've only beaten the Kraken once before, so it may be additional casualties, I don't know. But hopefully not. Now just gotta wait for the report to appear in the inbox. Suspense is building. And there we go. Well, we beat him. That's good because the quest for defeating him just popped up and we got the rewards for that. Defeat the Kraken. All done. So that is good. We have completed the event in doing so, and we have a Seas of Death public order item. I mentioned that earlier. That's cool. I'm going to be placing this in... I should either place it in my main or in my fire castle. I'm going to go with main, actually. That will be fun. And boom. That is nice. Here's the quest again. Close out of that, and we have the report at long last to take a look at. 47 casualties for 500 on his side. That's pretty good. It gives you a couple of pearls for defeating him, so that is nice. Let's take a look at the details. I always like to do that. It looks like on the wall we didn't suffer any casualties at all, apart from, I guess, we did, but we can overlook that as there weren't too many. That seems to be a good attack formation. I am happy that I took the center and didn't leave that to the courtyard, as the majority of losses did come from the courtyard as it was. So this went pretty successfully. Thank you all very much for watching, and best of luck next time you attempt the Blade Coast. You've defeated the Kraken and broken the pirates' power. Soon all of my kingdom will be rid of this plague, and peace will return. I am truly in your debt. May my knights serve you faithfully. Consider them a token of my eternal gratitude. If you like, you can stay a bit longer and help me destroy the last remnants of the pirate vermin.